Gears of War uses a level design blueprint over and over again throughout the series. This blueprint utilises 3 core aspects of combat in Gears: cover, enemies and a turret. What this blueprint does is that it ensures that the player goes through an emotional cycle. This cycle starts out with the player feeling oppressed by the enemies and then ends up with them becoming the oppressor. This is very important in any game where enemies can feel overwhelming and difficult to deal with, but especially in Gears of War, where the entire story and theme centers the player in the middle of what feels like a losing battle. To get that moment of brevity and to feel like you're for once getting the upper hand on the horde of enemies you face is a very strong emotion, and one that the designers felt like they needed to dot around the game in order to keep the player going. The way this is handled in Gears is really quite simple. The player enters a relatively open area filled with low cover. Enemies start funneling into the area, so you have to deal with them quickly before getting overwhelmed. However, in the back of the level is an enemy manning a turret. This turret is deadly. It oppresses the player as it rains down bullets on them as they go from cover to cover, taking out foot soldiers as they go. Eventually they get close enough to the guy wielding the turret and they take him out. Now, the level and combat designers could have just ended it there, hoping that the relief the player feels from giving payback to the turret user was enough of an emotional reward. But no, instead what happens is that the player gets to use the turret for themselves. The level is completely flipped on its head. Now the player is the one raining down bullets and enemies as they funnel into the area they just came from. This completes the emotional cycle and fully rewards the player for overcoming the odds and makes them feel like maybe the war could be won. This is just one specific example of how this blueprint works in Gears. Plenty of other games do this in different ways. What I hope you can take away from this video is that if there is space for this emotional loop in your game, but maybe you aren't quite utilising the systems that you have at your disposal, consider revisiting it. It might just improve the overall experience for your player. Thanks for watching and keep on keeping on.